Hello and welcome to Legacy IAS Academy. In today's video, we will be reading about the Supreme Court's verdict on Article 370. So what is the news in the first place? The news is that Article 370, which gave certain special powers to the state of Jammu and Kashmir, was repealed, abrogated on 5th of August 2019. Supreme Court was analyzing the legal angle of abrogation. Okay, it was deciding whether this abrogation was legal or not, and in its judgment, the five-judge constitutional bench of Supreme Court have unanimously agreed. Unanimously, matlab there was no opposition. All five judges were agreeing that 370 ka repeal was a legally correct decision. Okay, there is no we cannot question it. It is not invalid to abrogate Article 370. Okay, so they said unanimously, they said that constitutional abrogation of Article 370 was completely valid, but the five-judge bench have also said that we need to restore the statehood. Currently, Jammu and Kashmir is a union territory with a legislative assembly, right? So they unanimously have decided they have and directed the central government also that you need to restore the statehood of Jammu and Kashmir. Okay. So we will be looking into three primary questions which were answered by the judges in this case. The first question was about unique and special status of Jammu and Kashmir, whether Jammu and Kashmir should be having unique and special status or not. Okay. So the first question ke liye, they said that there is no element of sovereignty after the accession of Jammu and Kashmir was done. Although Raja Hari Singh, he said about Jammu and Kashmir as a separate state will continue. Matlab, the sovereignty of Jammu and Kashmir will continue, but his successor, Karan Singh, he declared that Jammu and Kashmir as a state will be coming under the union, completely integrated, and we will be adhering to the laws of Union of India only. Okay. So after accession, there is no question of sovereignty. There is no question of independent existence. Okay. Plus, the judges also referred to Article 3 of Constitution of Jammu and Kashmir. So Jammu and Kashmir also has a separate constitution, had a separate constitution under Article 370. The judges had referred to Article 3 of the Constitution of Jammu and Kashmir, which was also talking about the integration of Jammu and Kashmir to the central India, the integration of Union of India. Okay. Plus, they also said that the purpose of Article 370 is to help it to integrate with the mainland India. So, because the purpose has been solved, so it is now we are in a comfortable position to abrogate, to take it back, to repeal the Article 370. Okay. The second question that they were answering was that about Article 370, whether it was a temporary provision or a permanent provision. They said part 21 may, when we were adding Article 370, we have mentioned there that this will be a temporary provision. So it was declared to be a temporary as well as transitional provision. Okay, because we were in a transitional state. Jammu Kashmir was recently adopted to the mainland India, so it was added as a temporary and transitional provision. So this was a temporary. So repeal of 370 was not a problem because it was not a permanent provision. And the third question that they were answering was questions regarding abrogation. See, basically 5th of August 2019, when Article 370 was repealed, before this Jammu and Kashmir was completely under President's rule. Okay, it was under President's rule. So, plus under the provisions of Article 370, it was also having its own constituent assembly and its own constitution. So, the judges referred, they clarified rather, that the constituent assembly of Jammu and Kashmir was currently Legislative Assembly of Jammu and Kashmir itself. And because it was under President's rule, so there was the entire power of Legislative Assembly was transferred to President. So President could comfortably repeal Article 370. Okay. Plus, they also clarified that governor can assume all or any role of the state. And the third thing that they referred was the SR Bommai case. SR Bommai case, it was told that judges can also check for the malified intention of the president to repeal or to put a presidential order. So here they clarified that the presidential order was not malified as per SR Bomai case also. So the three questions ke hisab se on the acknowledgement of answering these three questions, government could have comfortably repealed or revoked Article 370, under which special powers were given to Jammu and Kashmir for its own constitution, for its own ruling, for its own constituent assembly also. Okay? So these three questions were answered by the judges, 5 judges bench. Plus, there were other certain directions. For example, one direction we understood, Supreme Court had directed the central government that he need to restore the statehood of Jammu and Kashmir. Although Ladakh can continue to be a UT, Jammu and Kashmir needs to regain its position as a statehood. Plus, they also asked for Truth and Reconciliation Commission to look into the human rights aspect, human rights violation rather, done by any other defense staff which were appointed in this region. So for this, for checking of human rights violation, government should be constituting Truth and Reconciliation Commission. So that reconciliation can occur, we can get the confidence of the people of Jammu and Kashmir. Okay. Plus, they also said that Article 370 was an example of asymmetric federalism. Asymmetric federalism matlab somebody amongst all the federal states, somebody is relatively more powerful, somebody is relatively weaker. So Article 370 was a case of an instance of an example of asymmetric federalism. But the purpose of 370 was to integrate with the other state or with the Union of India. Because the purpose was solved, so you could have repealed, the repeal of 370 was justified. Okay. And one last thing the judges said was, we need to keep, or central government also needs to keep in mind this aspect, that the task of army is to be used only in warfare, battlefield, to fight battles. Its task is not to maintain law and order. The force that is responsible for maintenance of law and order is police. Okay. So army should not be used by the central government to control law and order anywhere, including the state of Jammu and Kashmir. So these were some of the other orders, some of the other judgments made by the same 5 judges bench. Okay, now with that we come to the end of this video. I wish you all the very best and thank you so much.